I'm Senator Bob Corker from Tennessee, and I'm honored to serve as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Over the last several weeks, Congress has been reviewing the nuclear agreement between Iran, the United States, and other world powers. The deal has profound implications for the safety, stability, and security of our country and our allies, and it deserves close scrutiny from Congress on behalf of the American people. That is why, despite stiff initial opposition from the White House, Republicans and Democrats in the House and Senate overwhelmingly passed a bill to force the president to submit the nuclear deal to Congress so lawmakers can review it, debate it, and vote. As we evaluate this deal, we must understand the character and nature of the Iranian regime. This is the same regime that today remains the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world. It's the same regime that is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of U.S. troops in Iraq. And it's the same regime that is funding terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and Syria's dictator Bashar al-Assad. The Iranian Supreme Leader applauds those who chant death to America, and we know they threaten the state of Israel as they stoke violence and instability throughout the region. That is why the stakes of this nuclear deal are so high and the consequences are so great. Over the years, Iran has routinely violated international agreements through the development of an illicit nuclear program that included covert facilities and previous work on a nuclear weapon. In response, the United States, led by efforts in Congress, built an international sanctions regime to isolate Iran economically, imposing a severe cost on their country that ultimately brought Iran to the negotiating table. In 2012, President Obama declared that he would only accept a deal requiring Iran to end their nuclear program. It was a goal that both Republicans and Democrats rallied behind, and still do today. That's why there's bipartisan concern with the deal that has been presented. Rather than end Iran's nuclear program, this deal allows them to industrialize it over time with our approval. Instead of the once promised anytime, anywhere inspections, this agreement gives Iran nearly a month of advance notice to hide any evidence of developing a nuclear weapon. And this deal won't allow a single U.S. inspector on the ground, relying on an arm of the UN to conduct those inspections. Even worse, there are two secret side deals we can't ever see that appears to restrict inspectors' access to key sites. And after only 9 months, all major sanctions will be relieved. At that point, the leverage shifts from us to Iran. Iran will get access to roughly $100 billion in cash within a few months, maybe 9. Some of which will be used to help fund terrorism and instability. Over the next decade, it will gain hundreds of billions of dollars in additional funds. And we will have paved the way for Iran to have an internationally approved nuclear program. Iran will go from a weakened state to an economically robust country without being forced to change any of its roguish, destructive behavior. The President has said repeatedly that this is a choice between accepting this deal or going to war. It's not. Throughout the negotiations, the administration routinely asserted that no deal is better than a bad deal and threatened to walk away if necessary. So clearly, there was always another option for the White House, and it wasn't war. Our nation's top military general also confirmed that such a stark choice between this deal or war was never discussed during his conversations with the President. And in addition, the administration, Iran, and our partners have known for many months that Congress would have a role to play in whatever the United States will accept in the final agreement. Unfortunately, the administration has tried to undermine the spirit of this law by going straight to the UN for approval in hopes of pressuring Congress to accept it. Congress must not be intimidated by this. The real decision for lawmakers isn't this deal or war. The real decision is whether Congress believes this deal is in our national interest. Do we believe this deal will prevent Iran from getting the capability to develop a nuclear weapon? Do we believe this deal will make America safer? When Congress returns in September, it will consider a resolution to disapprove of this Iran deal. This decision should not be taken lightly. It could be one of the most consequential votes we cast in our time in public service. There is perhaps no greater geopolitical issue facing the world today than preventing a nuclear-armed Iran. And so we owe it to the American people to have a thorough and thoughtful debate. Thank you for listening. It's an honor to speak with you in this way, and it's a great privilege to serve the people of Tennessee.